you, girl.
Welcome to Hollow Creek. This is a 2016 movie, also known as The Haunting in Hollow Creek, and this one is directed by Gisela Morrow, who also co-wrote this, and stars Steve Darren, Gisela Morrow, and Burt Reynolds. Now I say it stars Burt Reynolds. He is in 2 scenes, but we don't see a lot of him these days, so it's nice to see him. Now the story here basically, when you look at the cover and you kind of see some of the kind of shots, you will think it's kind of a horror story. It isn't. There is a supernatural element. There is a ghost in this film, but ultimately it's only a very small part of the story and actually doesn't really play a lot into the actual plot itself. Basically, it follows a kind of couple. What I liked about it, this couple were in their kind of their late 30s and early 40s. So it's kind of nice to see a movie with this kind of age group where it focuses on a kind of like more of an adults rather than the kind of the young teens or 20-somethings or something along the lines of that. Anyway, the guy is a horror writer and he has rented out this cabin basically in kind of small town USA, and he's there with his girlfriend. Now he's actually married, so he's actually there with his mistress, and then he's basically staying as a kind of cross holiday, cross kind of inspiration for this kind of new horror novel. And this town has been plagued by a series of child kidnappings. And basically, this while they're in this kind of this house, the female, the girlfriend, basically starts kind of seeing strange things. Maybe there's a haunting, maybe there's kind of this ghostly vision, and ultimately she ends up kind of getting involved with this couple that are kidnapping children for kind of nefarious means, and end up, because she is witness to it, end up kidnapping her. And then basically it's a kind of like a mystery where the husband is trying to desperately kind of find where his girlfriend has gone, and also deal with the kind of the fallout of him kind of his affair being exposed and the police having him as a suspect. So that's pretty much the story. So the supernatural element of this is really only a small part. It literally has probably less than a minute of screen time, and that's really the only supernatural stuff you'll see. So this really does feel like a kind of an episode of kind of like a CSI type film, or TV movie type thing. It has a real TV movie feel to it. The actual mystery itself, I have to say, I did find quite intriguing. I kind of quite like the plotting of it. A few issues I have with this film. Firstly, I think the police are not portrayed particularly well here, and they're kind of really just portrayed as somewhat as buffoons and sort of inept basically. I didn't really like that. There are some peripheral characters that are introduced that just seem to be there for no particular reason. The main guy basically is kind of asked to kind of seek out this kind of ex-copper to help him, and the guy does literally nothing. I don't actually understand why his character's even there. And there are a fair amount of police characters. Don't really know why you need so many police characters, but anyway. And the other thing is the acting as well, I would say, is a little bit hit and miss. And the way the story kind of plays out, it kind of does feel like a TV episode of some kind of like crime drama, basically. This is feel more of a crime film than a horror film. On the plus side, I did like when we do see the kind of the flashes of the supernatural thing. I would say for the most part they look quite good. The design of the kind of ghost kind of looks quite good. There's a couple of kind of cheap CGI things that you just here and there, but when we do see the ghost, it kind of looks kind of cool. It's nice to see Burt Reynolds in a kind of obviously a small role, but kind of a somewhat a good performance basically from him. And I actually kind of liked the actual plot of this. It's kind of much more of a thinking man's plot. It's kind of like a serial killer style plot, and I didn't mind the kind of the story elements of it. And I have to say, it's a slower film. It's not an action-packed film, but I kind of quite like the unfolding of it. If you like stuff like CSI and those kind of like cold case, that kind of crime drama with a kind of smattering of supernatural kind of things, you probably really like that. But it does so much feel like a TV episode of something. But it's not bad. I would maybe sort of check it out if you're kind of into that kind of thing. I'll give this movie a 6 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.